This is Quarantine and Rap. Yeah, live from your mobile phone, TV, or PC. I'm on whatever screen you own. Jumping from tabs to apps, I suggest you don't. I promise you'll miss out on information that is vital. With idols, feature guests, I'm even call them the best. So I'm going viral with idols, it's so classic. Like cassette CDs and vinyls. You already know it's time for my show. Right. Welcome back to another episode of Quarantine and Rap. I go by the name of Ray Pearson.
I go by the name of Joe Milos.
And man, oh man, what a wonderful, amazing way to end off season 2. But we're going to get right to it. The date, July 14th, 2018. Location, Brooklyn, New York, under the Brooklyn Bridge. My condition, I was battling a stomach bug, but I still managed to get my ass out to Brooklyn. The event, the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. Performers included Collaborate, Latasha, Static Selector, Mr. C, Pharoah Monch, Black Star, Yasin Bey, aka Mos Def, and Talib Kweli. But our guest tonight also rocked the stage. He performed cuts off of In Celebration of Us. I walked out of that venue not only wanting to be on that stage, but also more in love with hip hop. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Quarantine and Rap, Brooklyn's very own Skyzoo.
What's up? What's up? Damn, how do I follow that up, man? I should just leave now. How do I follow that up? What up? What up? I appreciate all the words, man. I appreciate you wanting to get even deeper into hip hop once I got off the stage, man. That's a hell of an honor, man. So thank you.
No doubt. I was when that whole thing happened, I was not at a crossroads because I had just released something prior to that festival. But my thing, like, I went through Sonic bids to try to get on the stage. I was considered, but I wasn't chosen. But I felt, you know what? Based off the lineup alone, I'm still gonna get out there. Went out there with my brother and my cousin, and it was just I was there, not only getting past like the stomach bug because I was still feeling it that day, but it was like, oh man, I walked out of it, I was like, I know what needs to be done. And wow. You know what I mean, you played a big part in, you know, if I had any fogginess of direction, that cleared the path that needed to be cleared. And you know, salute to you, man.
Wow, thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. That's what this is about, paying it forward, man. So I'm honored to have been able to do that. You know what I mean?
Word. But before we get into all the brilliant things, I did say it right? Yep. All right, before we get into all the brilliant things, for those who are unaware, who are some of your musical influences?
Oh man, let's see. In hip hop, I mean, we go with the trinity of Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, of course. Black Star, Mos Def and Kweli, Black Thought, The Genius, Ray, as in Raekwon, Andre 3000, Outkast, all that, Scarface, and all the storytelling he did, and yeah, it's a nice smorgasbord of MCs, and that's just hip hop. I mean, outside of that, if you know me, you know I'm a jazz head. I listen to more jazz than hip hop. So Miles Davis, of course. I mean, I named my son Miles after Miles Davis. John Coltrane, Horace Silver, Lee Morgan, Art Blakey. It's a long list of those types of individuals that I could get into, you know, if the listeners may or may not be privy to those artists. So yeah.
Word. And that's a dope combination.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a jazz head, you know. I mean, of course I'm a hip hop head because I rap for a living, and you know, for me it was hip hop before everything. I became a jazz head later in life. You know, as a kid, my dad used to play jazz in the truck, and I would always turn it off and turn to Hot 97, and we would go back and forth. CD 101.9, Hot 97. We would go back and forth. You know what I mean? And he'd be like, yo, stop touching the radio. And I'd be like, I literally would tell him, I was like, yo, this music is stupid. It don't even have words to it. And then he would say, one day you're going to appreciate this stupid music. And man, oh man, did it hit me hard. I was like 19 and it hit me with a haymaker, man. And I was done. I was like, yeah, this is everything. I listen to more jazz than hip hop now.
Wait, and that's crazy because, yo, no lie, I used to see the same thing to my parents. because they used to play Bambaataa, Curtis Blow, Run DMC. But being younger is like hip hop was always there. It wasn't connecting with me how it connects now, but as I grew older, it's like you appreciate what was the path that was paved, and you appreciate those artists that, you know, Rakim, Kane,
Of course.
Fat Boy. So like, you know, I definitely could relate to that feeling of wanting to listen to what you listen to, but not understanding what was being played to you.
Right. No, for sure.
Do you remember the first beat you ever wrote to?
Oh wow. I don't, but it was probably, wow, that's a crazy question. I never got asked that. So I started rhyming when I was 9, 1991 or so, going into 92, something like that. I was 9 years old, and Chi Ali, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. That was the record that made me want to rap. I was a hip hop fan already because hip hop surrounded you. Like you said, it was everywhere. So I lived on the 18th floor in the P's. Like I lived up high on the 18th floor in the Jacks or whatever. So you look out the window and the park is right out there, and the guys is out there with the Saabs and the Audis and the, you know, and the Jeeps and all that, shooting dice and, you know, hustling and doing the thing. And hip hop was blasting out of the speakers. So you were surrounded by it. You know, the guys in the stairwell next to my crib, you know, my apartment was right by the stairwell. So if Heads was in the stairwell blowing it down, you could smell it. Like it would seep under the door, you know what I mean? So, which my mother was never a fan of. So Heads would be in the stairwell bumping hip hop. Like it was around you, no matter what you did. But it was Chi Ali, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, that made me freeze and be like, I want to do that. So it was probably right into something, maybe that or around that. Because you know what? The first time I wrote wasn't to a beat. You know, what happened was I saw the video for Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniels, all that. I saw the video and immediately I went and started writing. Like immediately. So it wasn't really to no beat, but yeah, that's a hell of a question, man. I remember writing for a talent show in the 5th grade. What beat was we using? I think it was an Edo G beat. I don't remember. Or it might have been a Positive K beat. That's crazy though. That's a wild question. That's dope.
Where when you think about the sound of today's rap music, what is something that you wish could have been taught to this new younger generation of rap artists?
The idea of balance. You know, I think we live in a generation now when it comes to hip hop, you know, and it's always kind of been like this, but it's becoming more prevalent now because of how large hip hop has gotten. But you've got your mainstream, you got your mainstream shit, you got your trap shit, which bleeds into the mainstream, but then you got more of the commercialized poppy mainstream hip hop as well. But the trap runs mainstream hip hop for the most part. You got your quote unquote underground backpack, you got your super street underground rap, Griselda and all my guys, all those guys over there. Then you got your nerd rap, which is like really nerded out, for lack of a better term, and that's not derogatory, that's just what it is. You know, you got all these different subgenres in hip hop, which make it beautiful, but there's no balance of like, I'm a fan of this and that, or turning on the radio and hearing this and this and this, or going to see a show and it's this and this. You know, like that used to be the thing back in the day. Like you would turn on the radio and you would hear Public Enemy, and then you would hear Kid and Play, and then you would hear Eric B and Rakim, and then you would hear NWA, and then it would come back around to BDP, and there was all these different subgenres within hip hop, you know, and that's over with. You know, if the radio is playing one vibe, you know, SoundCloud is one vibe, you know, it's just like, you know, it's what it is. And the guys who's Migos fans, they don't see how they could also be a Skyzoo or Lupe Kendrick fan, or, you know, like, and vice versa, you know, and that's, I don't like that, you know, because there's times for all different types of subgenres in hip hop. If I'm in a strip club hanging out, having a dope Friday night, there's a certain type of rap that I do not want to hear. And there's a certain type of rap that I do want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, right. If I'm in a strip club, play Migos, play Future, play, you know, Nicki or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Play all that. Like, cause that's the vibe, that's the energy, that's the moment. And then if I'm taking a road trip, play Kendrick, play Cole, play me, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's about, is balance. You need all that. You can't have McDonald's every single day, and you definitely gonna get tired of salad every single day. You know what I mean? Like it's a balance, you know. So I think that's lost. The previous generation had that under control.
Word. And knowing that you said that about radio playing one vibe, does that ever affect your music, or like what are essential tools that you use, like college radio, like what are essential tools that Skyzoo uses that a lot of people may still sleep on today?
Street team. I grew up in an era of posters everywhere, stickers everywhere, flyers everywhere, street team. Like I still believe in that. As much as everybody's looking down on their phone when they're walking, I still believe in when you get on a train, you see Skyzoo stickers. Or, you know, when you come outside of a spot before COVID, you come outside of a venue and there's flyers on the floor that the album's coming out in 2 weeks. You know, like I still believe in street team. You know what I mean? Like I believe in it. I interned at Priority and did street team when I was in high school for like 3 months. And it was the coolest shit in the world at the time because you went up to the label and got mad posters and stickers and mad cassette tapes and, you know what I mean? And you had a blast. Like, yo, I'm 15 and I got to go to work at the label for free. Like, it was the coolest shit in the world. You know what I mean? Like, street team shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was live. But I still believe in that. As much as I use the internet, like, you know, we're here right now because you emailed me and we was able to converse and kick it and build on this. I still believe in the physical element as well. Same thing with product. Like, you know, with actual albums, yeah, everybody's streaming, but people want something tangible. That's why vinyl came back full circle. You know, vinyl sales are through the roof. Like, if you're pressing up vinyl now, it's a 6-month wait to get your shit done because it's so backed up. Because the major labels got on it. The indie artists and the indie labels never left it because as an indie artist, when I go on the road and I bang out a show, the merch game is it. And they buying vinyl. They buying vinyl and t-shirts. Like they want vinyl for the nostalgia effect and just being able to tap in on that level. The major labels caught wind of that. So now they've flooded the record plants with vinyl requests. Yo, we need all this Drake, we need all this Future, we need all this Migos, we need all this Tyler, whatever. Like they've jumped on top of that wave, you know?
Word. And like when you, because I'm sure you've strolled through Manhattan, and I'm sure you've seen the rappers out there that are still handing out CDs.
Mm-hmm. Or selling them.
Do you feel like they how do I phrase this? Do you feel like they're probably making a mistake by selling the CDs?
Absolutely. And some of them might be making a bunch of money, so they might hear me and be like, nah, he bugging. But as somebody who was out there, like somebody who in 2003, 4, 5, 6 was standing in front of Fat Beats before it closed, I never sold a CD to nobody on the street because nobody knew who I was. I was giving them shits out for free. You know what I mean? Like, perfect example, I remember giving out mixtapes in 2005. It was a particular mixtape I had, and I would stand in front of Fat Beats, and I would literally just hand them out. So off the rip, when somebody walked by and you going, yo, they're going to be like, nah, I'm good, because they think you want $5 or $10 out of them. And my response would be, nah, it's free. As soon as you say that, they're like, oh, all right. If it's free, I'll take it. And if I don't like it, I'll just throw the shit out. But it was free. I ain't losing no money. It's free. And if I like it, hey, I got something for free that I like. So they would take it. So fast forward to 2009. This is 05. Fast forward to 2009. I'm doing an in-store in Fat Beats for my debut album, Salvation. So I'm signing autographs and doing the thing or whatever. Dude comes up to me. I'll never forget. Comes up to me, yo, man, I'm a huge fan. He buys the album, take a picture, I sign it, whatever. And he was like, yo, I met you in front of a spot and you gave me your CD and you gave it to me for free. That CD never left my car. This is 4 years later. He was like, that's why I'm here today, because you made me a fan 4 years ago by giving me your free music. Now, if I would have said, yo, $5, I'm just out here trying to eat. I'm out here all day. I'm trying to get a dollar slice from the 99-cent spot. Boom, boom, boom. You know, I would have never had Son as a fan, and however many countless other people that had the same story. So I always tell them kids, like, a lot of them wouldn't want to hear it because they do get paid off that, and that is how they make their money. But I'm like, if your goal is just that, then that's cool. If your goal is using this as a stepping stone to become an artist that's able to have a career and do all the types of shit that I'm doing, you'll give all that shit out for free, man. You know what I mean? Like, because nobody's buying something where they don't know what it is. Like imagine going to a store and somebody handing you a brown bag, like, yo, $20. And you're like, yo, what the fuck is this? Yo, don't worry about it. It's $20. It's $20. Just take it. What's in the bag for $20? Yo, don't worry about it. Just take it home. Nobody knows what it is. Like the music could be awesome. The music could be trash. Like no one's going to buy that. You know what I mean? So get the shit out for free and have a way for people to be able to reconnect, whether it's your social media and contact and all that shit on the artwork and whatever, and having your presence out there. So when they hear this shit, like, yo, this shit is kind of crazy. And they look you up. Yo, yeah, you gave me your shit on 42nd and 8th. Yo, your shit was jumping, bro. Boom, boom, boom. I'm following you now. Now you got them locked in. Like, I always thought that was weird, but I respect it because I know a lot of them do that and they may make a couple $100 a day. I hate the hounding people element though, like harassing. Yo, motherfucker, come on. You got the tourists from out of town and out of the country that don't know no better. I don't like that element, but I respect the grind because I was out there. I just gave my shit out for free.
Word. Yeah, definitely. And like I had that experience one time. I was at a show and someone was walking around trying to sell his CD, which is cool, you know, much respect, and you got to do what you got to do. And we had CDs, but we were giving them out for free.
Yep.
So he came up to us and was like, "Hey, listen, you know, like first of all, I didn't have enough cash on me, because I had to get in the door."
Right.
And I was unaware of that. Being someone that was performing, it was a miscommunication. So I told him, "Hey, listen, I don't have, you know, the cash, but," and it was right next door to a go-go spot. Jomi, you know, AJ's, and they charge you like $10 just to take $20 out the ATM.
Right.
Yo, facts.
So I was like, "Listen, I don't got the cash, so I'm like, you know what I mean, like, you know, but do your thing. But I have my CD for free." So he's like, "Yo, if you're not gonna support me, I'm not gonna support you." No, by all means, it's all good. Then we, you know, that's where it left off. So I get what you're saying, you know, from the hounding to, you know, he bugging, but you know, that's.
Yo, I was at every event. You taking me back. This is like 04, 05. Nobody knew me. I didn't have no kind of deal. I had a regular job. I had to go to work the next morning. You know what I mean? And I was at every event with a shoulder bag. If anybody know me from back then, they'll tell you I had a shoulder bag because I wouldn't do a book bag because then I looked like a backpacker. So I had a shoulder bag, like a messenger bag, and I would have like 50 CDs in it, 100 CDs, whatever I could fit. Slimline joints, artwork, crazy, printed up, perfect quality, all that type of shit. And I would just hand them shits out to whoever I felt needed to have it, like in the spot. Like, yo, here, take that. Oh, I bet, good looking. This is when heads were still bumping CDs. All right, good looking. And I would ring off. People would be like, "Yeah, you gave me your shit at so-and-so spot, man. And I want to interview you for this. So I remember you gave me that shit. I see you doing your thing." That's what it was about, man. It was the long game. You had to pay a couple $100 to get your shit pressed up and you wasn't going to get that back. But it was the long game, you know what I mean? And it worked.
Word. But let's get into all the brilliant things.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind your new album and the title for it?
My neighborhood and all of these neighborhoods and what we're looking at, whether you live in New York or anywhere else, but specifically in New York, you know, me being from Brooklyn. And so that and cultural appropriation, you know, the album's about gentrification and cultural appropriation and how the two go hand in hand and how they interlock with one another and how heavy those things are. But folks who look like us on here don't really take heed to it or understand it or really take the time to break it down so that we can combat it and know how to survive within it and how to fight back against it and own what we create and own where we live and all those types of things. So I really wanted to put all that under a microscope and kind of break it down. So the album is a conceptual album from A to Z. It plays out like a book, and every record is a chapter in this book. So every record makes sense within the context of the album. So there's no, yo, I got a joint where I'm just spitting, going crazy, 3 verses, just killing you. Or, yo, I got a record for the clubs, or yo, I got a record for the females. Nah, every record is about this concept of gentrification and cultural appropriation. And it starts with the way my neighborhood was, and it ends with the way my neighborhood is now. And it just takes you on this ride and this trajectory of what's been happening. And I'm super proud of it. You know, I was just telling somebody else, it's the longest I ever took to make an album. You know, normally I make albums in a week and a half, 2 weeks. You know, I did Retropolitan with Pete Rock. We did that in 11 days. You know, The Easy Truth with Apollo Brown, we did that in 9 days, you know, and this is writing everything on the spot. Like I don't write ahead of time. I write at the studio. So let's say we was going to the studio, we meet up, we go to the lab. I'm not going to write until I get in the studio. Even if you sent me the beat months ago, I'm not going to touch it. I may hear it and be like, oh yeah, that beat is dope, I'm down. But I'm not going to touch the beat until we get in the lab. Then when I get to the lab, I break out the phone, I start writing for 20 minutes and I do the verse and then I leave. And I've just been blessed to be able to write fast. So I've done, when we did Retropolitan, it was 11, 12 days writing every record in front of Pete. He can tell you, Sky wrote that shit in front of me on the spot. Apollo could be like, 9 days. He wrote that shit on the spot. I say all that to say this album, it took a year and a half for a lot of different reasons. One, I was working on Milestones, the project I did about fatherhood and Father's Day, in the middle of this album. So I stopped this album to work on that because I just caught this inspiration to catch Father's Day last year before it passed or whatever. So I was like, I got to jump on that. So I paused the album for that. 2, I had vocal cord surgery. I couldn't talk for a month. I had to get my voice back and figure out how to get back into my range vocally. And then 3, COVID hit and all the studios were shut down. So there was times I wanted to record, I couldn't record. So I actually wound up building a studio in my house and I did the second half of the album in my crib. So that all made it play out a little longer. It's the longest I ever took to write an album. Like I said, normally I may write a verse in 20 minutes, write a whole song in an hour. I would sit down for like 4, 5, 6 hours on one song. I've never done that in my life. It is a first. Never in my life have I done that. But on this one, I just wanted to do it because I had so much to say. And I was really particular. Like I may write a verse and read the verse over like 30 times before I step in the booth and then be like, well, what if I take the 6th bar and I swap it and make it the 12th bar? And I swap where those are. Okay, so if I do that, how does the song play out? How does that verse play out? How does that verse play within the landscape of the song? How does that play within the scheme of the album? So I really, really was on some like surgical shit. You know what I mean? So it was a different experience with this one and I love it. It came out perfect and I'm super excited about it.
We was gonna ask you about your creative process, but you broke it down.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So good.
Normally it's just, it's quick. I write a verse in 20 minutes. I write a song in an hour. Then I go watch the game. Like, boom, we done. But with this one, I took a lot longer. I would sit there I might sit there for 3 hours with the beat playing and not write nothing and just be vibing to the beat for 3 hours and just kind of not to be, on some one with the universe and I am yours type shit, but like let the beat become me or become one with the beat and really just sit there like and hear everything within it and then write like a line or two and then sit back and then just listen to the beat some more. And it was a slow process, but by choice. It wasn't writer's block. It wasn't nothing like that. It was by choice.
Word. And when you're working on an album and you're, the production part, what is very important for you when searching for the production? Like what is needed in your production?
I mean, I've been told I have a really dope ear for beats. This website actually did an article a couple years ago, like the rappers with the best ears for beats. And it was me, Rick Ross, Game, Lil B, maybe one more, I forgot who. It was a real eclectic list, but it was cool. They threw me on there like, yo, Sky has like an impeccable ear for beats. With beats, the beat just got to talk to me. I can tell when I hear a beat in the first 10, 15 seconds if I'm gonna like it. Like I don't gotta, if somebody send me beats, I don't gotta listen to your whole shit, listen to the beat for 2 minutes. I don't need it to take that long for me to be sold on it. You know what I mean? Like I'm usually sold right away. Now I may listen to the whole shit. If I'm sold right off the rip, I'm listening to it because I'm so excited. Like, yo, this shit is crazy. I don't want to stop hearing it. And I'm getting these ideas and I want to see if the change ups come in the hook. But the first 10, 15 seconds, man, I know if I like it or not. Like I'll run through a beat CD quick. I'll be like, nah, that's not it. Nah. Oh, there go one. Okay. All right, write that down. Yeah. Nah. I can tell right away. The drums gotta be nuts. The drums gotta hit. I'm big on pocket. The pocket gotta be right. I'm not crazy about super duper slow beats. Like if it's a beat that I love and it's slow, we good. I can rhyme to anything, but I'm not crazy about the like I'm not a fan of that shit. I like something with some movement. You know what I mean? Something like, okay, word. All right, let me jump in here. Boom. But if that's what we on and it's that slow, then cool. Because sometimes the moment calls for that, for the story that you're telling. But I like shit with a lot of movement. Being a jazz head, anything with trumpets is gonna get me excited off the rip. Bass lines are huge, just fully produced beats. I don't like when the beat is like a skeleton and it's like, yo, if you like it, I'm gonna finish it. I hate that shit. Like, let me hear it finished. You know what I mean? Like, don't serve me the food half finished. Like, give me the whole shit. You know what I mean? Like, give me the whole meal. Like, yo, I know you got the chicken and the rice, but I got some crazy asparagus and macaroni and cheese coming next. Yo, just tell me when all that shit is ready and I can eat it at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at production.
Have you ever found like a jazz beat that you started to just like rhyme off the top of your dome?
Like,
because me as a singer, like I find myself recreating music through jazz. Like
100%.
when I listen to Latin jazz. Yeah, no, I'm a singer. But like when I do listen to like jazz or like Latin jazz or like the Ray Barreto type of beats, well, jazz, because it's still jazz considered. Like I find myself recreating stuff in my head or just recreating the whole song or sampling something from the song. Right. Have you ever found yourself like getting lost in the jazz?
100%. Sometimes you'll hear a jazz joint and just start, me as an MC, it's harder to rhyme to just straight jazz joints. You know what I mean? Because, the way jazz is, it's harder to just rhyme to it. Obviously, you could chop it up and sample it and make the greatest ever, but just rhyming to a Miles Davis joint is a little harder because it's like 20 BPM, you know what I mean? Or
yeah.
So as a singer, of course, you can go everywhere with that because you're a singer. So you can do so many different things within that realm. But I'll hear a record and be like, oh, I got to chop that. I got to chop this. I got to sample that. A lot of my records are jazz samples, jazz inspired, jazz samples that I added additional trumpets on top of or saxophones or whatever. So yeah, 100%. I mean, jazz is my favorite music, period, So I'm always inspired by it.
Word. And for all the brilliant things, who has production on the new album?
Who's on it? My man Mark Infinite is on it. Thelonious Martin out of Chicago is on it. Rashid Hadi, Kenny Keys. Who else is on it? I did a joint on there. Me and my man J57. Twami is on it. Twami's crazy. Who else? I'm trying to look at the track list in my head. My man Karl Marx did a crazy joint on there. A lot of newer guys. Like on this one, there's not a lot of, oh shit, he got so-and-so and so-and-so. Like there's none of that on this. It was more so just what I felt. I could have called this guy and called that guy or whatever and got whatever I wanted. But I was getting beats from so many places. I mean, the opening record on the album is a beat that I heard on Instagram. My man tagged me on the gram and I was like, yo, this is nuts. And I wrote a comment like, yo, this is crazy. And then the kid DM'd me and was like, yo, appreciate the love, man. Whoa, yo, do you want it? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, here's my info. Send it to me. And he sent me the stems. The kid might have 900 followers. You know what I mean? Like, and it was the nutso beat. I needed it. I don't care who did the beat. Like, if it's nuts, it's nuts. You know what I mean? Like, give it up. It ain't, yo, well, son ain't known and he ain't this and I don't care about that. Like, all I know is he got something that I need to help me tell his story. So there's a lot of newer guys on this record.
And that's dope because a lot of the times it'd be the newer guys who are trying to get placement or, your style of music has inspired something that they produced. But a lot of the times they don't have a way in order to present it to the artist. The only other artists I've known that have done that at times, 50, Jay. Mm-hmm. So, it's dope when someone from, of your caliber works with one of the newer guys.
Yeah. No, I always tell heads, I don't care who did the beat, man. I really don't. It's just got to be dope. I've gotten beats from Just Blaze and, just some of the greatest producers ever, and they're amazing. Those beats are amazing, and we made amazing records. But I don't walk into a record saying, I'm going to die if I don't get this one and this one and this one on the record. I'm going to die if I don't get a beat from so-and-so and so-and-so. That's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's just what's great. It could be Just, who's amazing, and it could be, my man Mark Infinite, who's amazing. Like, it you know what I mean? It's just about who got heat. I don't care. Because all these guys was new guys once, like Just first placement was the Harlem World joint, the I Like It, I Really Like It joint. Like, he was a new guy, and it was like, yo, I got a guy in here who he got beats, man. He worked at the studio, he interning, and he got beats. And it was Just Blaze. He was a new guy nobody knew. Now Just Blaze is one of the greatest ever. But everybody was a new guy at some point, period.
Word.
Did your vocal surgery by any chance like slow down the process with your album?
Yeah, because I had to pause. You know, I had the surgery and I couldn't talk for a month. So they was like, no talking. And it was a gradual thing. Like, okay, the first 2 weeks, don't utter a word. The third week, you could say like one sentence a day. The fourth week, you could do 10 minutes a day on day 1, 20 minutes day 2, 30 minutes day 3. It was crazy. Like, so walking around the house with a dry erase board to talk to my family and you're having a conversation and you have to write everything. Yeah, so and so and so. And then I'm like, and they go, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. Then I got to erase it. And it was awful. Like, it was really, really difficult. Like, it was awful. Like, I just went in the room. I was like, I was just writing down, like, I'm going in the room. I'll see y'all tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because it was awful. Like, I'm just going to go in the room and watch Netflix and go to sleep. And they gave me a bunch of drugs. And you know what I mean? Like, it was awful. But it was needed because my voice was gone. Like, when I listen back to, like, videos of me talking to people or conversations, or it was crazy. Like, I'm like, oh, I used to sound like that. Like, it was gone. It was super raspy. And they told me if I spoke too early, I could lose it and I would sound like Miles Davis, which is crazy because I love Miles Davis, but you know, I would sound like that. Like, yeah. And I was like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be real diligent on this and really like follow this regimen of not talking. So long story short, yeah, I lost time with that. And then the funny part was after I was able to speak again, when the doctor was like, yo, you can speak endlessly, you can yell, you can whisper, you can do whatever you want, you're done. The first time in the booth was super weird. Like the first time recording again, I recorded just to toy around and see how it would sound. So it's kind of like if you tear your ACL playing ball and they say, you heal, you could go shoot now. And you go in the gym and you shooting and your form is weird and you don't feel right. And you like, I don't feel good, man. Like it ain't hitting how I don't like the first time I went in the booth, like it was weird trying to rhyme. Like I was kind of depressed that day. I was like, yo, I don't sound right. I don't like how I sound. And I had to just get back into the nuances of my voice and how to talk within my larynx and around it and over it and how to do certain things. Now I'm fine. Now I'm totally back to normal, thank God. But that first couple of days, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this anymore. Like, cause I just didn't, it ain't feel right. It was like trying to hit a crossover and it ain't feel right. But then after a while, that crossover come back. You like, oh, I'm good. You know what I mean? So vocally, the pen never left, but vocally it was weird at first, man. It was scary.
For all the brilliant things, what are some of the features?
Feature wise, there's no rappers. I wanted to tell the story myself. You know, like I said, the story's about my neighborhood. It's about Brooklyn, and anyone can relate to it. Is if you're dealing with gentrification and cultural appropriation and things of that nature. No matter where you're from, you can relate. But the story is specifically about my neighborhood and Brooklyn as a whole. So if you didn't live on my block, how could you really be a feature on this album? You know what I mean? So that's why there's no rap features. But singing wise, I've got Raheem Devon, who's my brother. This is like our 4th or 5th record together. Raheem is on it. BJ the Chicago Kid is on it. Hypnotic Brass Ensemble is on it. It was an amazing jazz hip hop fusion band. Then there's up and comers like Aria, who's on St. James Liquors. She's amazing. She's a new rising star. She's on it. Another homegirl of mine who's really dope, Ceoline, she's on it. But these are people who heads don't know yet, but they're gonna know. And again, just like the production, I don't care. Like if your voice is nuts and it fits what we doing, let's do it. Like Jomi, you sing. If I hear you and I'm like, yo, she's crazy. That's the type of voice I want on this song. I don't care that you're not Rihanna. Like, I don't care. Like, you're dope. So let's do it. You know, that's just the way I work.
I co-sign for Jomi. Jomi is an amazing vocalist.
Nice.
I'm not saying that because she's my code. I'm saying that because she is fire.
I gotta get a link when we get off. I gotta get a link so I can press play on it. But that's how I am. So feature wise, those are the features on the record.
Were any features you wish you had on the new album?
Nah.
Besides Ray Pearson.
Yeah, there you go. And Jomi. There you go. Nah, because I got everything I wanted, man. I mean, there wasn't really anybody I reached out to that it didn't go right. You know, I got who I wanted. It made sense. I got everybody I wanted. I just wanted to tell a story a certain way. Oh, my man Black Soul is on the record. I got to shout out Black Soul. He's amazing, man. Amazing R&B vocalist. He killed it too. Black Soul is on the record. But yeah, I got everybody I wanted, you know, because for me, I just want to tell a story. If I could sing, I probably would have had no features. and just did it all, but I can't sing. So, it came out right though.
Word. I've always been a fan of album artwork and even like the album booklets. From the liner notes to who produced the record. So like, when you listen to an album and you going through the book, when you're listening, it makes you feel more connected to the album while listening to it. The artwork for All the Brilliant Things, how did you explain what you visioned for that cover?
Yeah, it was just this vision I had. I was walking down Fulton and Franklin one day in 2019, and I just saw what I used to know as a certain store being flipped into a condo, and I saw like the under construction signs, and I just stopped, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? I just stopped and was like, really? Like another one? And I just took a picture with my phone. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna do something with this. I don't know what yet, but I'm gonna do something with it. And I took a picture of it with my phone. And a couple of days later, I was like, yo, that's the cover. And, with me, since becoming a father, everything in my life revolves around my son. And I was like, I'm explaining this to him. I mean, he's only 3, but I'm going to explain this to him when he gets older. So this is me explaining to him what gentrification is. So we were going to do a photo shoot in front of it. Like, I live in Atlanta now. I don't live in New York no more. I live in Atlanta now. So we were going to go back home to New York and do a photo shoot with my son and I, with me pointing up at it. And then COVID hit, so we couldn't go nowhere. So I was like, damn, how am I going to pull this off? And I was like, well, what if I just get it illustrated? And I'm glad I did, because everyone flipped out. I think the picture of it would have hit hard too, but the illustration just tore people apart. Everybody was like, yo, this is nuts. Like when I dropped it, people went crazy. I was like, yo, this artwork is beautiful. Like, this is amazing. So I reached out to this dude, Matthew Rockefeller, and he's an amazing cartoonist, illustrator dude, and reached out to him and he knocked it out, and it came out beautiful. I just explained it in the email, like, I'm gonna send you this picture of, that I took with my phone, and I'm gonna send you some pictures of some outfits and me and my son, and I want us looking and me pointing up. And in 2 weeks, he sent it back, and I was like, yo, A++++. Hey. You know what I mean? Like you knocked it out the park, and it worked out.
That artwork definitely, like, sometimes you don't have to have like a million things going on for people to get it. Mm-hmm. That artwork, fuck you. As soon as you see it, it's like, yo, I get it.
I get it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the little Easter eggs, like in the corner, there's like a white couple walking, holding hands. You know what I mean? Like there's little Easter eggs all of it. If you look, it says 1-800-RENTME.com. Like there's all these little Easter eggs within it. And then when you open the full thing, like if you get the CD or the vinyl, when you open the full thing, the back is the other side of the street with the brownstones and the construction and all that. So it all comes together real nice.
It's crazy that's happening here, where I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So it's happening here. Like the gentrification is happening.
Right. And
that's how, like, when I was, listening to it, and when I was looking at the artwork, I was like, this all goes so perfectly together.
Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, how did you come up with the name? Like,
so I'm big on like titles, album titles, song titles, and the way I work, I'll write when I'm getting ready to work on a record. Like, okay, I'm gonna start working on an album to drop it such and such time. I'll just come up with song titles sporadically throughout the days and just write them in my phone. And the album starts after I have 14, 15 song titles. Then I start the record. And I just started coming up with all these song titles and different things. But for the album title, I looked at what it was I was trying to talk about with gentrification and cultural appropriation. And I kind of took a step back and looked at the people who were behind it, everyone who was doing this. And I was like, yo, this is a really awful thing, but fuck, it's brilliant. The way they pulled it off is brilliant. The way they took our culture from us, this shit is brilliant. Like, when you hear brilliant, it doesn't mean it's something positive all the time. Something could be like the Joker was brilliant, but he was negative. He was horrible. You know what I mean? Like Hitler was brilliant, but he was horrible. He was, you know what I'm saying? Like just what he did was brilliant. So it's like in the sense of how intelligent it was, not meaning it was good or cosigned before this goes another direction. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, this shit was brilliant. The way they pulled this off. Like it takes brilliance to pull this off the way they did it. So these are all the brilliant things. things I'm talking about. These are the brilliant things that they pulled off, as heinous and awful as they are.
That's sick. That's a dope. That's dope. That's dope as fuck.
For real. Skyzoo, as we get closer to the end of our conversation, if you had the chance to go through your entire catalog and picked out 6 songs, not in a best of Skyzoo kind of way, but more as so your journey as a writer, what 6 songs would EP your growth?
Man, I wish you'd asked me this ahead of time. I would have thought about it and had them out. Let me see. Langston's Pen off of Live from the Tape Deck. That's from 2010. That's an oldie. Hoodie Season off of In Celebration of Us. Oh man, I'm thinking about some stuff from Retropolitan. Homegrown off Retropolitan. That's 3. Oh my gosh. Stretch and Bob off of The Easy Truth. That's 4. Man, this is a tough question. Man, you gotta go to Dream Deferred. Gotta go to Music for My Friends. Shit. This is a wild question. Things I Should Have Told My Friends. I love that record. We could go over 6. We had 5. Asking Bodie for a Package. Oh my gosh. Civilized Leisure. I'm not gonna mention the new stuff because it's not out yet. But yeah. There's so much, man, that's crazy. That's a wild question.
Where did the name Skyzoo come from?
So my name is Skylar, as you can see in the Zoom thing. And when I was a kid, when I was a toddler, like, I don't know, maybe a year or 2 old, there was a group, disco group out of Brooklyn named Sky, and they spelled it SKYY. So if you're into disco, their shit is everywhere. There was a really big disco group from Brooklyn. And they would always name their albums and songs. They were trying to incorporate the word sky. So they had songs like Skyline, Sky Rocket, Skyport, different things. And they had a record called Skyzoo. And in the beat, there was a kazoo playing. And my family, like my aunts and my cousins and different extended family members, would call me Skyzoo after the record. And the record's a straight disco joint. If you YouTube it or whatever, you're like, oh, this ain't hip hop at all. It's straight Studio 54 disco shit. And it's like, I want my Skyzoo. Like with a kazoo and shit. It's crazy. But they would call me that when I was a toddler, just as a little nickname. Oh, Skyzoo. And it stuck, because Sky is short for Skylar, and, and it stuck. And when I started rhyming, I knew nobody on the planet would have that. It was so weird and different. Nobody would have it. I would never run across somebody like, yo, that's my name. You know what I mean? Like, it was so unique and unorthodox. I ran with it. And man, in the beginning, people would say, yo, change your name. Your name is weird, like labels and shit. You know what I mean? Yo, change your name. I remember taking a meeting with a major label, like 03. I ain't gonna say the label, but the exec up there was like, yo, yeah, your shit is dope. Your shit is dope. But why don't you change your name? It was a woman. She was a female. She was like, why don't you just be Sky? She was like, the girls will like it. You cute, blah, 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 blah. The girls will like you anyway. Just be Sky. And I was like, nah, I'm Skyzoo, and I was like, if 50 Cent can exist, if Jay-Z can, if AZ can exist, Skyzoo can exist. And she was like, I get, you know what I mean? But, she was like, you just change your name to Sky. And I was like, I'm good. Like, people was trying to get me to change. Now it's like, once you make something normal for people, it's normal for people, like AZ or 50 Cent. That's like the wildest rap name ever,
Yo, word.
Ja Rule, like the wildest rap names ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah.
Now it's worse. Little Yachty, Moneybag Yo.
It's just a bunch of rules on everything. You know what I mean?
Yo, word.
Or what's the new thing? Young, like young this or young
that or Lil this or Lil that.
Or YRN or I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know these names, and that's not a shot at their music because some of the music is dope, but just the names, like you said, they're all unorthodox now. But yeah, I was catching hell with Skyzoo. You know what I mean? Now it's, that's Skyzoo, like it's nothing, but I had to fight for that.
I think it sounds dope though. Like I wouldn't even tell you to change it because it's really dope.
Yeah, it's original.
Well, nobody can now. It done built a house of its own, you know what I mean? But
you better you secured it, right? BMI.
Oh yeah.
ASCAP?
Of course.
I mean, you've been in the game long enough to know that, but
yeah, absolutely.
Word. What would be the greatest advice you would give us just starting out Skyzoo?
Oh, that I would give myself. Oh man. That the game is corny. The game is corny, man. You know, you come in wide-eyed, wet behind the ears, excited. Yo, oh snap. The game is corny, man. It's a bunch of suckers, man. Just knowing that there's no loyalty really. There's a little bit. There's no loyalty really. And I don't believe in regrets. I don't have no regrets, but just to know that there's no real loyalty in the game. The game truly is a game. But I tell people all the time that's coming up, if you love the music, that's what's going to push you through. You know, if you don't love the music, you might be done with this shit in 2-3 months. Like, yo, I ain't doing this shit. I'm out. Because there's so much nonsense that come with it. But if you love the music will push you through because you like, yo, it's wild nonsense, but I love what I do. I love making music, so I can't leave it alone yet. I got to stick it out and just let the music ride because I love creating, you know. So I would tell myself, just know that the loyalty is not real with a lot of people in the game. The business is a business. That's probably the best piece of advice. The business is a business. And thank God I've been able to take care of my business the right way. I mean, I bought my house and multiple cars and stuff off of music. I haven't had a job since 2006. You know what I mean? Like I'm fine. I go on vacation when I want. I buy whatever I want. My son is spoiled. Like his room looks like Toys R Us. You know what I mean? And, you know, and I'm opening other businesses and other things. That's all off of music. Whether it's my music, ghostwriting, touring, sales, like that's all off of music. So it's a blessing and an honor to be able to say that, you know, when so many people can't. So, you know, just those little things.
Word. Final question. With all the brilliant things dropping and everything starting to open up, some are opening up at 100% capacity. What could we expect from Skyzoo going forward?
Oh man, well, I'm doing this live virtual show on June 10th, the night before the album comes out. You can log on to happin.com, happin.com, and get virtual tickets. It's a virtual stream show. We did a small capacity, like in attendance number of tickets. They sold out right away because it wasn't, you know, it's a small crowd because of COVID. So the venue has like a COVID control thing. They can't but so many people. So that sold out right away. But the tickets for the virtual stream at home are still available. You know, that's endless. So check that out. That's going to be dope. It's my first time touching the stage since December 2019, which is crazy. A year and a half. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's like not stepping on a basketball court for a year and a half. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? You know, so, but it's going to be dope though. I'm excited about it. So there's that. I don't know if touring is going to happen because we're still on the tail end of this. Hopefully it's the tail end, God willing, and this thing is over soon. But, you know, I don't know where touring is at, but as soon as we can tour again, you know, I'll be on the road, you know, but more videos, singles from the album, a ton of merch. I got a really, really dope merch lineup that I'm about to launch in a minute, right before the album drops. So a lot of different things in that regard.
Nice.
But one thing, and first off, before we even go into this next thing, once again, man, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about the album and your influences and, you know, your musical journey. Skyzoo, thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you listening and you wanting to sit down. You know, that's love. Both of y'all, that's love.
Word.
I'm glad you're a Yankee fan too.
Yeah. You know, it's New York, man. You know, I'm good with either team winning. I mean, I'm more of a Yankee fan, but if the Mets win, I'm good.
Don't mess it up now. We was all good until you started talking about the Mets.
No. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm a Yankee fan, but if the Mets, I'm not sitting there wanting them to lose, like, you know, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm a Yankee fan 100%. I'm a Giants fan, but if the Jets do a little something, it's like, whatever. But with the Knicks, it's the Knicks over everything. So I've been biting my tongue, my man with his hat on over here.
Nah, it's only because it says Brooklyn. I'm a Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan since Starks and Ewing.
Okay, we can get you a Brooklyn hat that don't say the Nets. We gotta figure something out.
Yeah.
Get you a Brooklyn Dodgers hat. You know what I mean? We gotta do it. I'm like, oh, my man got that on. My man over there on that. Okay, you know what I mean? Because I don't mess with those guys at all. But
I got a blue and orange Biggie, like it's the Knicks but with Big's face.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's sick.
I don't think I've ever seen that. That's crazy.
Shit, my bad.
Let's see what's up.
1 second, my bad. All right.
Oh wow.
Yo, that is sick.
There you go.
There
He said, put that on. He's
Right.
like, take that off. Burn
you
it.
go.
There we go.
Burn it.
That's an evil one too. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
got it off
says
Amazon.
Notorious. Nice.
And then
Oh wow.
Oh,
That's
bro,
crazy.
you should have been had that one on. Get out of here.
So you're a super duper Yankee fan.
Me? Yeah, I just literally left watching my niece play softball. I used to coach.
Oh,
My
dope.
team used to be the Yankees too.
Oh, dope. That's dope. That's what's up. So yeah, word up. Yeah, I appreciate the time sitting down with y'all, man. It's been a good one.
word,
Absolutely.
but Skyzoo, the floor is yours. Please plug anything and everything you want to talk.
Oh man, all the brilliant things, June 11th, tap in with me, man, as we go down this road and try to break down some of these things that may or may not make sense to us, living in the cities that we live in, being creators of content and culture and seeing it be stripped away from us and being told what's us and what isn't, which is asinine and insane. You know what I mean? So we're trying to get to the bottom of all that. So all the brilliant things, June 11th. Oh man, Instagram at Skyzoo, the writer, everything spelled out the right way. I went to school. Let me see. And shout to you guys, man. Like, shout to you guys and everybody listening and watching. Go get Ray Pearson music. Go get Jomi Los music. Go tap in, tune in with them. And we all here. We all here just creating what we creating out of the love and for the culture and just pushing it forward and paying it forward, as they say.
Give them your social media, SoundCloud, where they gonna find your music.
Yeah, Instagram at Skyzoo, the writer. You can find me on there. Twitter at Skyzoo. Yeah, I'm around.
Everything Skyzoo, ladies and gentlemen.
Leave it.
Word. And as we end this amazing conversation, I want to thank everyone who's took the time out to check out every episode from this season, from Johnny Denver all the way to Skyzoo. Thank you if you're a first-time listener. Salute if you're a returning supporter. I thank you. This was a dope season. It had its challenges, it had its ups, and it had its downs. But we're live, we're in good health mentally and spiritually. Once again, I go by the name of Ray Pearson.
I go by the name of Jomi Los.
And on that note, y'all already know how to end the season. Right. Swab it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, all over the world, welcome. My name is Ray Pearson. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Grab your drinks, grab your popcorn, get your notebooks. This is Quarantine and Rap. Yeah. Live from your mobile phone, TV, or PC, I'm on whatever screen you own. Jumping from tabs to apps, I suggest you don't. I promise you'll miss out on information that is vital. With idols, feature guests, I'm even call them the best. So I'm going viral with idols, it's so classic. Like cassette CDs and vinyls. You already know it's time for my show. Right.